We talked about manipulation of content. There is a thing that naturally happens on all media, which is the spreading of misinformation, right? And is that different to you than the accusation of or alleging like the pushing out of Chinese propaganda? That's different than just lies being repeated until everyone believes them they're true.
Um, so the questions about the source and amplification of misinformation is a pretty big one. There's a lot to talk about under that category, but I don't know if you've ever referenced the discussion that came out of a book by a team led by Yochai Benkler, the network propaganda book that he did several years ago. Did you ever talk about that on your show?
Mm-mm, I have
Let me
not
just say
yet.
a few words about it. It's really interesting. It tried to figure out what went wrong, at least for those who disagreed with the outcome, in the 2016 presidential election. And the book is, there was a pretty broad narrative following the 2016 election that the election was stolen because of misinformation that was online. That the Russian bad actors injected misinformation, and the politicians injected this information, and that social media amplified them in a way that caused a change in the outcome of the election. And the book really does a brilliant job of trying to reverse engineer what happened. And their arguments are that the source of the misinformation in the society really was Fox News. And we can talk about others in the right wing media ecosystem, but honestly, Fox News was the big lever. And Fox News was producing misinformation that then would be injected into the online sphere and then discussed further. But here was the key. If you took away all the online activity that was taking place after misinformation had been disseminated by Fox News, that wasn't the lever. The lever was that people's minds were being educated and informed by Fox News, being misinformed by their misinformation, and that's what was really moving the needle.
Mm,
And I think it's really a powerful question for us, because what we've done is we've created this feedback loop where politicians are always looking for ways to get their name in the headlines, always looking for ways to slam dunk on somebody for a viral moment, and they're willing to engage in misinformation. Our politicians, the people we're
mm,
paying on our tax dollars, are
right.
willing to engage in misinformation that then gets amplified on Fox News, where they get rewarded for having engaged in that by getting the payoffs that they were seeking. And so it's become this loop that no matter what happens online, if we can't fix it at the upstream level, I don't think it's going to matter. And so this is a long-winded digression from your question about, well, what about Chinese misinformation? But you can see, like, my mind is in a completely different place. If Fox News is the poison that's being injected into our ecosystem, China is getting the windfall, but they're not the problem. They're just the
Interesting.
beneficiary.
So that goes back again to like taking care of the homestead.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. So, because I wanted to ask you if the TikTok ban was kind of an extension of that storyline from the mid 2010s with Facebook and Twitter's ad platforms and algorithms being used to spread lies. At a big picture, it looks like if we're thinking about this thread, with Facebook and Twitter after the 2016 election, seems like banning TikTok's like right in line with that thread of technology bad spreads misinformation.
Yeah, but we get back to the underlying problem, which is if we really cared about the spread of misinformation, regardless of source, focusing on TikTok is just ridiculous. We
Yeah.
need to focus on all the other places where misinformation is being spread. And I'm sorry, I just have to point this out that though I will condemn the purveyors of misinformation, many types of misinformation are nevertheless protected under the First Amendment, and I will defend that.